Hi folks, and welcome to the Bridal Show, and we're happy to be here today at the Bodley-Bullock house in Lexington, Kentucky. And with us today is Teresa Wharton of the Junior League of Lexington. Thank you for being with us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having us.
Great. So can you tell us a little bit about this house?
The house was originally built by Thomas Pendle, who was a Lexington mayor. It was built in 1814, and shortly after its completion, it was sold to General Thomas Bodley. And he and his wife lived here for 35 years. They had a number of children, 4 of which attended Transylvania, which is right up the street, because we're on Gratz Park. Then the next owners of the house was the Burtners. They made most of the changes on the house and made the more Georgian style that you see today. They lived here until the Civil War. And in 1861, in April, her husband died, and she went to stay with her niece. When that happened, because the house was sitting empty, the United States Army conscripted the house to be used because they wanted to be able to keep an eye on the Hunt Morgans across the street. They wanted to be able to observe his comings and goings. So during that period, the house was Union headquarters. For a brief period following the War of Richmond, which the Confederates won, this house was also Confederate headquarters for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point. Mrs. Burtner never returned to the house, and then after the Civil War was over, the house was sold, and the next prominent family that lived here were the Dudleys. And the Dudleys lived here until finally the last Dudley relative sold the house in 1912 to the last owners, Dr. and Mrs. Bullock. Dr. Bullock was a founder of Lexington Clinic, and he and his wife lived here. And when they did, they set about restoring their house and furnishing the house with period pieces. So while the house is 198 years old, most of the furnishings in the house, although not original to the house, are close to that in age. They're either about 150 to 198 years old because they are pieces that are from the period that this house saw. You see some Victorian, you see some Georgian style furniture. So you see all different kinds of things in the house, along with Miss Minnie's snuff bottle collection. So we have lots of little interesting things.
A snuff bottle collection?
A snuff. This woman didn't drink or smoke or dance, but she collected snuff bottles. So.
Wow. And you know, nowadays this venue is known for wedding ceremonies in the courtyard, rehearsal dinners. When you occasionally talk to brides that select this location to be part of their special day, are they really interested in the history, quite a bit of it?
They do like the history. I think they also like the architectural benefits that come with historical homes. The staircase that you see is a perfect staircase for a bride to come down. It's a cantilevered elliptical staircase. It's the only one in Kentucky that's oval in shape.
Wow.
Like this. So that interests them. They love the garden, which is beautiful. Mm-hmm. You know, summer weddings in the garden is fabulous. And it just has a charm. And unlike so many historical venues, we leave the house, it's an open museum. The collection is an open collection. We don't put little ropes on every chair and cranny and tell you that you can't use those things. The house is open for you to use. There's a few places that are off limits, but for the most part, you get to use it like it's your home, and so it feels like you're getting married from your home.
Wow. And upstairs, what are 1 or 2 of your favorite rooms up there?
Oh gosh, I love Miss Minnie's bedroom, just because it has lots of crazy stories. That's the room that the lights come on and off in. We've been told that there have been ghosts. If you believe in those kind of things, I'm not really sure that it's a ghost, but I think Miss Minnie is very present in this house. She lived here, you know, all of her married life, from 1912 until she died in the early 1970s. This was special to her, so I think her presence is still here. And so that room is special because, you know, her shoes are in there, and there's things that she wore and did. And then also in the main hallway, there's a huge carved chest, and we'll show you that later. That was that she used to keep her linens and store special things in. That's special.
Great. And do you also have any public tours available, or is this just a...
Anyone is welcome to come to the house, make a phone call first, and we will arrange to do tours, but we're not open like 9 to 5 for tours.
Okay. And what's the best contact way to call you guys or email you guys?
You can reach Carrie Davis, who's our manager, at our phone number, which is 252-8014.
Experience the best Chinese food in Lexington at Happy Panda. Located off Leestown Road in Tally Center, Happy Panda features a large menu for both dine-in and carry-out. We have over 30 lunch special items under $6, as well as combination platters priced under $8. Your next delicious meal is just a phone call away. Call us today at 859-388-9996. Happy Panda, the best Chinese food, fast.
Folks, welcome back to the Bodley-Bullock House, and I'm with Christy Blumetti here, not only of the Bodley-Bullock House, but of the Junior League of Lexington.
Correct.
And tell me a little bit about the Junior League.
Well, we are a nonprofit organization of women that volunteer throughout the community, and we raise dollars for the bluegrass community. We're an active group of 300 and a group strength of 800 volunteers. All women of various backgrounds and positions and things like that, and we use the Bodley-Bullock House as a fundraiser for our efforts in the community. We go out into the community and volunteer, as well as raise monies to grant local nonprofit agencies funds to help with their work in the community.
Wow. What are one or two fundraisers that you guys are known for, annual things that you guys do?
Well, most everybody knows us for the Junior League Horse Show, which has been in this community for 76 years, and we're about to celebrate that. It's in July every year. And then our second, that's our largest fundraiser, and our second fundraiser is the Holiday Market, which is always in November, and it's kind of a shopping extravaganza for everybody that wants to come out, and it's a 3-day. We have local vendors, we have vendors from all across the country that come out, and it's just a 3-day event where you can come shop various kinds of different products, and all right before the holidays. So it's a great time to buy gifts.
Oh, sounds good. And how long have you been with the Junior League of Lexington?
I've been with the league about 14 years, and it's a huge passion of mine. I'm all about volunteering, and it's a great group of women, and we get to go out as friends and family and go out and help the community, which is what we're all about.
As far as information about, are you still always looking for new members in the Junior League? And
Absolutely.
Great. And if so, what type of women are you looking for, and how can they contact you if they're interested in joining?
They have to be at least 23 years old, but we will take anybody that's at least 23 years old. We do an active membership drive in October of every year, so anybody that's interested in being a part of the Junior League, they can go on our website, which is www.lexjuniorleague.com, and they can look at all the information regarding being a member, and they can call the league office and we can get them information that way. But we're open to anybody. We have no age maximum, so any age above 23 can join our group, and we're glad to have them.
Great, and we'll be right back with more of The Bridal Show.
Hello, and welcome to Lexpon. Lexpon is the only online coupon company that is devoted to its customers in Lexington as well as Central Kentucky. We have amazing deals on everything that you need as well as everything that you want. Look, we're all looking for ways to save money. Why not stretch your dollars with Lexpon? Just sign up below and start receiving your daily deals. It's time to save some serious money. So what are you waiting for?
Finally, a television show for brides in the bluegrass.
Now that you're engaged, it's time to begin the process of planning your wedding, and that's where we come in.
Each episode of The Bridal Show features the very best local wedding professionals, including interviews and interactive demonstrations of the services they offer. Our show is a wonderful way to see the latest fashions and make the process of planning your special day much easier. The Bridal Show.
Only on WTVQ Channel 36. Welcome back to The Bridal Show, and I'm joined by Amelia Adams, and she's also with the Junior League of Lexington. And you have a unique relationship to the house beyond the Junior League. Can you tell me about that?
I do. I went to college at Trancey, and I started to fall in love with the house at Trancey, which is just down the street next to Gratz Park. And we had several events here and had a great time, and I realized that the Junior League owned and ran the house. So I wanted to join the league and become a part of the house. And in doing so, I decided I wanted to have my rehearsal dinner here, and I spent my entire wedding day here getting ready and taking all of my pictures. So it's got a special place in my heart for many reasons and for the last several years.
What are your memories of that particular day? We'll start with the courtyard with the pictures out there. What are your memories of that?
I remember thinking it just seemed very romantic. The garden was in full bloom. It was in August and we had some great flowers. The grass was very green, and lucky for me, it rained the whole week and stopped right before my rehearsal dinner. So it was very green and beautiful, and it felt very soft and very fitting, like a nice southern wedding, and that's what I wanted.
Great. And did you take any pictures on this wonderful staircase?
Yes, I think some of my favorite pictures are on this staircase. There's one of me coming down myself, which is my train coming down the staircase, and then one of me and my husband. And they were just beautiful, and they're, I think, probably my favorite wedding pictures just because of the staircase and the light that comes down from the ceiling.
Wow. And some of the rooms upstairs, what are some of your memories of some of your favorite rooms up there?
Well, there's a bridal suite, which is Miss Minnie's bedroom, and then there's a nice restroom and a place where most brides get dressed. It has great lighting, windows on all 4 of the walls, and some nice chaise lounges, which make for great pictures. And I'm really into pictures. That was my favorite part of my wedding, and the pictures were just great. All the natural light, all the different architectural pieces, the furniture that was here when Minnie was here. It just created a nice feeling and a very special wedding day for me.
And even though you're here quite a bit now with your capacity with the Junior League, does a day go by when you're here and you don't remember your wedding day?
No, it really doesn't. I just think about all the different places that I was, and when I hear about other people planning their weddings here, I kind of want to go back and do it again and relive the moment, maybe change up a little bit, but not change anything about being at the house, because it really, I had a nice kind of a garden party for my rehearsal dinner, and it was just, we had a big tent and flowers and lots of nice food, and I could just go back and do that again tomorrow if I could.
Yeah. Well, we've got time. I think we can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And then as far as the Junior League, are you one of the chairs? Are you the main chair? How does that work out?
This house is first and foremost the headquarters of the Junior League. We rent it out, of course, for a service to the community and maintain it as a museum house, but we have all of our meetings here, all of our board meetings, and I'm the chair of the headquarters board. And that board maintains the house. The house is a couple hundred years old and requires a lot of maintenance to keep it looking like this for everybody's wonderful weddings and events. And we also help manage the rentals, and our league administrator, Carrie Davis, serves on our board as well, and she helps work our board together with the brides.
Wow. And as far as if a bride is planning part of her special day here, what are some things that she's allowed to do? Can she decorate with flowers? Can she bring food? What's the situation with music?
You can decorate with flowers and bring your own food. We don't allow any amplified music because of the Gratz Park neighborhood. We can't have loud music, but we can have string music, string quartets, basically anything without a speaker.
Great. And I saw a really nice piano over in the corner. Is that functional, and do sometimes people bring in instrumentalists to play on that?
It is functional, yes, and some people do bring instrumentalists to play for that. A lot of people choose to have their wedding in the house and their reception outside, and we've got a lot of great photos that I've seen of people coming down the aisle here and someone playing the piano in the background.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All righty, and we'll be right back with more of the Bridal Show after these messages. All right, welcome back to the Bridal Show, and we're here again at the Bodley-Bullock house, and I'm happy to be joined with Carrie Davis. And Carrie has an interesting capacity here. You're one of the ones pretty much the main one that brides call when they're planning a wedding or a special event. Is that right?
That's exactly right. When they're in the beginning processes looking for a venue, they'll usually call me, and we'll set up a time to walk through the house and just sort of view the setting and the neighborhood and the garden, and then that helps them make the decision about what venue they'd like to be at for their wedding.
What are some of your favorite parts about the house?
I love Minnie's bedroom. I love the girly feel of the wallpaper and the four-poster bed. I love that. I love the fact that it has the original wooden floors, and they're not in perfect condition, but they just speak to the history of the house. And usually, it doesn't take long before people will take their shoes off and run through the house. Not really run, but go through the house, and they feel really comfortable here. And that's what we really want people to do. We want people to use the furniture and play the piano and use our tables and buffets and our couch and just feel like they're home. And I love the fact that we have a garden, and it's 100 years old. So I think we have the full array of what a bride is looking for when she goes to find a venue.
Do you ever find that sometimes even people from Lexington or Central Kentucky might come to a wedding here and never realize that Bodley-Bullock was here? Do you ever run into that?
All the time, all the time. Just from what you can see from the street, it's really hard to tell what's behind the brick walls and the wrought iron. But once they come in, they see the staircase and they see the garden. It's just magical. It's like a little fairyland. And they tell me several times a week, people will say, I never knew this was here, and I never knew it was so beautiful. And it really is. There's butterflies, and we have a koi pond in the back, and it's just a very, very relaxing and quaint setting.
As far as the location, where exactly are we located?
We face Gratz Park, which is in the downtown area of Lexington. It's sort of it's in a historic district called Old Lexington, if you will. And it's on the corner of 2nd Street and Market Street, and we do have a sign in the yard so that you should be able to tell where we are. And it looks across the old library. The Carnegie Center is right across the street, as is the Hunt Morgan House. So we're all the historic area and buildings just sort of clustered together. It gives it a very old feel. This is how you get into our garden area, which is maintained by our garden club. Okay. They come every 2 weeks to prune and weed and maintain the plantings, which are about 100 years old. The garden was developed in 1912. This is the stone path. I also call it the bridal path. And this is where the ladies would walk down as they came toward their wedding ceremonies. As you walk down the path, you'll see several millstones. And I've counted a total of 13 in the backyard. I don't know, there might be more. But this is where a bride and her father would walk down toward the ceremony site.
Neat, and you've got this very old park bench here too.
Yeah.
And then this is one of the millstones?
This is one of the millstones. There's another one there. There's quite a few around the yard.
It's amazing.
And at this point, a bride could make the decision whether she wanted to have her ceremony next to the fish pond.
Yep. And then some brides will choose to have this be their area.
That's right.
Is it because they love the ivy?
They like the ivy. So then they would come down the stone path and come this direction. And a pastor might be standing here with bride and groom facing each other and using the ivy as a backdrop. Is because there's the beautiful foliage on either side, and there's the wrought iron archway, and it just makes for lovely pictures. And I don't know of another site like it in the area, so it is very unique and very luscious and green.
And I love this wall here. You guys have such a great courtyard. Any interesting stories with the history of this particular wall or all the walls here?
Well, I know the wall was put in 1936, and there a lot of things have come and gone on the property, except the wall has remained. It is also a big mystery to people who are walking by. They want to see what's on the other side, and so as I sit at my desk across the lawn, I frequently see people's heads popping up above where they're trying to look over and see the garden. But it actually shelters a lot of the plants and foliage, and so it's been very helpful, and certainly helps keep the sound from carrying for our events, and that's really important.
Oh, that's great. Okay, now what room are we in right now?
We're in the living room right now, and it does have museum furnishings, but we encourage people to enjoy them and sit on them and use them for their wedding receptions. There are lots of tables and buffets around the house, and certainly some of them are in here, and they're used quite frequently.
And how long has this wonderful piano been here?
The piano was donated to the house by some folks in the area. It has a lovely sound. It's used at many, many wedding receptions, and we do try to keep it tuned as best we can.
So now, is this sort of the main foyer area for up here?
It is. It is obviously the location of Minnie Bullock's cedar chest or her blanket chest, and actually inside there are some of her personal items that she left here. This is the bridal suite, and it contains a lot of Minnie Bullock's personal furniture. This is her bed, and that would be her dresser. Some of her personal effects are here, but this is where brides on their wedding day can have their makeup and hair done, and pictures that they like to take with their mothers and bridesmaids. And so it's quite a large room for a reason, because we want them to have lots of room to spread out and be comfortable. And also, you can look through the windows down into the garden and see what your wedding reception looks like and who's come to your wedding. And I love that. I think that's really a neat aspect.
That's probably exciting, because you know so many brides throughout the years have been watching as the guests arrive.
That's right. They look through the windows.
And almost all the time they're probably up here getting ready just moments before going out there, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. And so there have been an awful lot of photographs taken where brides are peering out the window to see who's here and what it all looks like. It's very sweet.
To make an appointment to see the facility or to actually book a wedding, how do people get in contact with you?
They can usually call the office, and the number's 859-252-8014, and either leave a message or talk to me. The first step is usually a tour. We will walk through and take it apart and just talk about what you could do in certain areas of the house. And then they'll usually visit 2 or 3 other sites and call me back to actually secure the property.
Finally, a television show for brides in the bluegrass.
Now that you're engaged, it's time to begin the process of planning your wedding, and that's where we come in.
Each episode of The Bridal Show features the very best local wedding professionals, including interviews and interactive demonstrations of the services they offer. Our show is a wonderful way to see the latest fashions and make the process of planning your special day much easier. The Bridal Show.
Only on WTVQ Channel 36.